In today's edition of Forecast Factor, hurricane season got to an early start with Ana in the first week of May, and that's got the country's attention along with businesses. Business weather expert Paul Walsh is here to break down all the information we need to know. Good morning to you, Paul.
Good morning.
Okay, so how does a preseason storm like Ana affect business?
Well, if it's a really early storm and it's hitting a large marketplace with a large population of people, there'll be a huge surge, a bigger surge than you would normally expect. Ana itself was so small and affected such a small amount of people, it didn't really affect businesses very much. But I think for all of us, it is a wake-up call.
Yeah, I mean, it was still Mother's Day, you know, and there's still events going on, but it wasn't the heart of the summer when it is
and it's
insane.
A very small population center. But I think, I think the big message here is that Mother Nature follows no seasonal forecasts, and so we need to be very careful.
Speaking of the seasonal forecast, I can't stand the hurricane season forecast. People who watch, you know why. We can get into another time. But do the businesses follow the numbers that are put out? Oh, we're going to have 15 hurricanes. We're going to have to. Do they follow that?
Not really.
Oh, good.
Especially the really smart ones, because just like us, when they prepare for hurricane season, they don't do it based on the forecasted number of storms. They do it based on what typically happens. And this year in particular, I think the impact of a storm or the threat of a storm is going to be bigger than ever, especially in Florida, because there's not been a storm in Florida in, what, 9 or 10 years, a really big storm, and there's about 1 million people now living in Florida that have never experienced a hurricane.
No, they still might not, even though this year.
They might not, but you still have to look at the statistics and you have to look at the odds, and they've been basically dodging a bullet for 9 years. So what I'm telling people and businesses as well is to be more prepared this year, not less prepared.
Okay, so speaking of that, what should the average person do, financial-wise, when it comes to, this hurricane season?
From a planning perspective, every year, but this year in particular, don't believe the long-range forecast. I know that's heresy, but in this case, we cannot predict where a storm is going to go, so you should expect that you're going to have the average number of storms hitting the coast, so you should be ready. Businesses do that. We all should be doing that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I can't stand this forecast because we don't know how big they're going to be, where exactly they're going to hit. It doesn't give you any added information. They could all stay out to sea.
And there's a negative aspect too, because of the press around a quiet season. People tend to become complacent.
Yeah. All right. Paul, thank you very much for that. For more business and weather news, check out forecastfactor.weather.com.